As usual, I've uploaded this video because your reply here did not make it into the thread. It only shows up in the notifications. I don't know what the hell that is, but basically Pinterest is just as bad as YouTube. I don't know what. Anyway, in this case, to feed is not to satisfy hunger, but to satisfy the soul. My question still applies though. Why would okay, I'm gonna open another. I should have done that before. Yeah. Why do you agree with 9/11? And two, would anyone need feeding? Okay, would anyone need feeding of any sort if God made us all self-sustainable? Or you're talking about satisfy whatever kind of hunger that would be. Would we also have that hunger if God was a responsible creator? I would say that I applaud this attempt to, but no, this is just bullshit. We all have this. Why do we have this hole in our heart? See, you're trying to. I don't even know what you're trying to do here. You're failing to, or obviously, indoctrination is not. How do I put this? Fuck. The indoctrination causes some sort of, I guess, blockage from looking at the core of the issue. And this issue would be, like, I'm not trying to make things up. I'm just trying to think as I go along on how to explain this. You're not going to the root of the problem. Now you're saying that, like, we have a hole in our heart. Well, you're not taking all the way to the beginning or all the way to the core and asking why you even have a hole in your heart. In this case, is what you're saying. Now, would a responsible creator give you a hole in your heart? Obviously, which requires feeding for some reason. You don't question this. Anyway, we have a hole in our doing all sorts of stuff. Dating, smoking, drinking, doing endless. That's just escapism. People do that for artificial stimulation. Well, not dating, but I don't even know why that's in there. Smoking, drinking, doing sport. What? Doing sports endlessly? What? You don't like anything, do you? But still the whole... Well, if all these things are bad, then why is this good? Why is feeding your soul? Why? Because it's about God or whatever? How does that make it good? Jesus says, I don't care what Jesus says in any fucking book. It's the claim. You're gonna throw the claim at me now? Okay, I'm game. I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me shall not hunger, and whoever believes in... Why were you hungry to begin with? Now you tried to... Well, you're saying the bread of life. You're just... Well, at this point you're just preaching at me anyway. You're not answering my question. And I think you know what I'm trying to ask. You're just evading it. I don't know. This is a spiritual hunger. I know what you're trying to say it is. That's fed by Jesus. How is... Okay. So it's an addiction. Just like smoking and drinking. And dating is... And endless sports, as you also claim. Wouldn't going to church be a form of dating? If he's all we have, why do you need anything? Why do you have needs? Why do you want to have needs? why do you agree that you have needs? Now, going back to my comment, you don't, what, do you agree with 9/11? Well, this actually still applies because, well, obviously Christianity depends on that spiritual feeding. Would anyone need feeding if God made us all self-sustainable? What if God made you not needing that spiritual feeding? I mean, how does God's truth feed people? You don't even explain that. Yeah, so I'll leave it to you. I don't like making long videos.